this week's chapter of Dragon Ball Super, Beerus, the god of destruction, decides to crash Bulma's birthday party and proceeds to bend over and spank some of the most powerful Z warriors on the planet. He fights against Gohan, he fights against Buu, he completely wipes the floor with freaking Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, and this is all a massive build-up to his battle with Vegeta. Before I even get to that, though, I just want to mention that the manga version of Dragon Ball Super, I think, is a little more effective in what it's trying to do, and mostly because it's just moving right through this whole Battle of Gods story arc. There's barely any introduction for the fact that Beerus is now at Bulma's birthday party. When he actually runs into Bulma for the first time, it's just an immediate slap to the face. There's no build-up, there's no partying, there's no breakdancing. It's just straight up right to the action, and honestly, I really enjoyed that in this week's chapter. It was a nice change of pace, and it also makes it so that we have three completely different tellings of Battle of Gods. And I'm not sure if that's a good thing. I'm not sure which one is actually the real deal. If the movie is the real one because it came first. If the brand new anime is the one that's now the official canon because it's actually being done by the creator. Or there's the manga version, which is basically just a supplement to the actual anime series. Despite that, this week's chapter was just badass, especially with Beerus fighting against Vegeta, because just like in the movie, at first, Beerus looks like he has the upper hand, and then suddenly, after seeing Bulma get slapped, Vegeta just freaks the hell out, explodes with rage, and begins to attack him, knocking him all over the ocean. Boom! Kick! Punch to the face! Backhand slap! It's all freaking there. It all looks awesome, and it's definitely the most exciting thing about this week's chapter. It even does this one big massive ki blast as he explodes him into the air, but Beerus is not really impressed. But aside from the action this week, which is definitely one of the big reasons to check out this week's chapter, the most important thing I think is we get the real formal introduction of Champa in the manga series. Now, we've already seen him before, but in this week's chapter we get to see that the Elder Kais and the Grand Kais are actually looking at this crystal ball, and they're actually able to see Champa and his attendant, and apparently Champa is looking for these wish orbs, which apparently are the Dragon Balls, and a lot of people have made theories that these could be the brand new Super Dragon Balls that they've been talking about, because they're not like the typical size that we see on Earth, where they're a little smaller. They might even be the Namekian Dragon Balls. That's at least what the Elder Kais think at first. But no, Champa, I think, has bigger plans. You know, he's going around these different universes. You know, obviously, he's a god of destruction from an entirely different universe that we've never seen before. And there might be these, like, otherworldly mega super Dragon Balls which exist in every single universe. Maybe there really is just 7 altogether. Maybe there's actually even more than that. Maybe there's another big twist to this whole Dragon Ball thing. The thing I think is most interesting, though, is what would a god of destruction actually want with the Dragon Balls? What would this guy actually want to do with them? What would he wish for? He already has everything. He's already immensely powerful and nothing can stop him. We've already seen that Beerus is incredibly destructive. I guess we could assume that Champa is just as powerful as this character, but we're still going to have to wait and see. But Champa himself seems to have a little bit more of a sense of humor than Beerus does. I especially love when he realizes that he's actually being watched through a crystal ball and they immediately teleport to the Elder Kai's planet just to freak them out a little bit, just to install a little bit of fear, and that's definitely one of the big reasons to check out this week's chapter. So what's the rundown on this week's chapter of Dragon Ball Super? I really wish the anime had this type of pacing, because they are getting right through it. 3 chapters in, and we are already at Goku arriving back on Earth, getting ready to fight against Beerus, because Vegeta pretty much gets defeated in this week's chapter. Even after his big assault, he really just doesn't have the power to finish off Beerus, and that's when suddenly Goku just appears out of nowhere. And this is definitely going against what happened in the movie, where there was a little bit more build-up to the reveal of Goku, who had a more heroic entrance, but it's actually much more fitting here because they're trying to get through the story quicker, and of course there's going to be some brand new twists with the introduction of the character of Champa. Champa is an assistant, pretty awesome characters. You know, they're almost identical to Beerus and Whis in some ways, but I really can't wait to see how they're going to change them and why they're really looking for these Dragon Balls in the first place. And it still baffles me that, you know, they're calling them the Wish Orbs. Considering that these gods of destruction have been around for a long time and they should know a lot about the galaxy, I'm surprised they don't really have a lot of knowledge about the Dragon Balls. The Dragon Balls themselves, within the actual universe of Dragon Ball, is actually really interesting because they always manage to keep it very mysterious, where almost no one ever knows about these amazing wish-granting orbs. but they're always going to end up being like a central part of the storyline. Sometimes they're shoot-in, but this one I'm really interested in because, you know, the fact that there might be these other Dragon Balls out there which might have even more powers, and I can't wait to see what this otherworldly, multi-dimensional dragon is going to look like. It might even be more different than what we've seen from like Shenlong and Porunga. It might even have like its own design, and I can't wait to see what that's going to be. Maybe can you imagine like this giant galaxy-sized dragon? Like this is going to be the super dragon of Super Dragon Ball. I'm just excited to see what they're going to do with all the new stuff. Otherwise, if you've seen Battle of Gods or you're continuing to watch Dragon Ball Super, the anime series, a lot of this is going to seem familiar, but there's also a little bit of spoilers if you haven't watched the movie and you're not caught up completely with Dragon Ball Super, because this one is skipping ahead just a little bit. But I can't wait to see what they're going to do with this in the anime version, how they're going to build up to this scene, because really this is like the super condensed, fast version of the anime series, and hopefully the anime version will be able to live up to this one. The action was great. If I only had one complaint from this chapter, and it doesn't even have to do with the chapter itself, when I was actually reading the translation of it, whoever was doing the translation added in all these unnecessary cursing and just all this like bad language, which just really made the whole thing seem really trashy. That's not what the actual translation is going to be, I assure you, but the one I was reading was definitely not that great, but it was the best quality that I could find. What I will say is, I did like this week's chapter. I love the action. Super Gotenks is awesome. Vegeta going on a rampage, the arrival of Goku, and Champa and his attendant looking for the Super Dragon Balls. Let's get excited, guys. I cannot wait to see what they're going to do with the rest of this series. So I'm going to give this week's chapter right here a 4 out of 5. More of the stuff that we've seen before, but it's starting to look really cool. The artwork is really nice and clean and consistent. Vegeta was awesome. Just a really fun chapter. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about Champa and his attendant? Why are they looking for the Dragon Balls? What type of wish would a God of Destruction wish for, and why? And what is his relationship going to be to Beerus, aside from the fact that they're both just Gods of Destruction? Please tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching my review. Make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. That way you can see all of our latest anime and manga reviews. You guys can also follow us on social media. And you guys should also check out our weekly podcast show, The Powerful Nerdcast. You can join me and Christian each week as we discuss all of the big topics going on in the nerd universe, and pretty much about anything else we want to. You guys can also find that show on iTunes and on Rogue Intel. You can download the show for free. You guys should definitely check it out. That way you can take Super Kami Guru 9000 with you wherever you go. But as always, the best way to support our channel is to watch the videos, comment on them, and to share them with your friends. So thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby!